Good morning, people.
Good morning, Courtney.
Yes. Welcome to AMA on Facebook Live. Today we have Emiliano. Thank you for joining us.
I was so happy to be with you, Courtney. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be a part of this AMA.
Yes, of course. Glad to have you today. We're going to be talking about what did we title yours? I support male survivors and you can too.
That's right.
Yeah. So we have some questions for Emiliano. I just want to remind everyone that we want to hear from you, our members, what questions you may have from the field. So what you can do is you can post a question to Emiliano in the comments. So if you have any questions during it, I'll throw it up on the feed and we will try to answer as best as we can. All right, Emiliano.
Yeah, I look forward to hearing from everybody. Let's do it.
All right. So first, why the focus on male survivors of sexual violence?
Yeah, thank you for that question. I don't know if folks know, but 2.1 million adult men in Texas have experienced some form of sexual assault in their lifetime. And that's a huge number of fellow Texans. So that means that a lot of boys and men in our lives have experienced some form of sexual violence. And so, unfortunately, many of these men live with shame and guilt and are less likely to disclose this abuse to law enforcement, their loved ones, their friends, their families, their coworkers or classmates. And so that's why it's so important that we just take this time during Sexual Assault Awareness Month to raise awareness about this particular group of survivors.
That's great. Thank you, Emiliano. And my next question is, what can folks do to support male friends, family members, coworkers, classmates, etc., who have experienced sexual violence?
Yeah, like I said, a lot of us know a survivor, whether it's a loved one, a family member, a friend, a coworker, a classmate. And the best thing that we can do is listen and be patient with them in terms of them disclosing their story to us. Also about deciding what they want to do after they disclose their story of abuse, whether it is reporting it to law enforcement, accessing services through their local rape crisis center, calling a helpline. So being really patient with the survivor regarding how they want to proceed after they disclose their abuse. It's so important to just show compassion, to understand, what they've experienced and to validate it, and of course, to believe them. And I know how difficult that can be. And compassion, I think, is really important at this time, especially for survivors who are even more isolated right now during COVID-19. And so it's really critical that we show compassion, even online, and inform yourself. So Google is your best friend. And so I definitely encourage friends and family members that know a survivor to learn as much about the issue as possible. So there's a lot of really great resources out there for partners and for loved ones. So just learn as much as possible how you can best support the survivor in your life. So I would really encourage you to do that, because that will really help the survivor in their long-term sort
of Emiliano, did we lose you?
Journey. I'm here.
All right. Sorry. I froze for a moment.
Sorry about that.
No worries. Can you repeat that last part if you don't mind?
Yeah, of course. No, I was just encouraging folks to learn as much as they can about sexual violence and sexual abuse, especially how it impacts boys and men, so that they can best support them in their long-term journey of healing. I think that's the most important thing that we can do. So, yeah.
Follow-up question to that. Are there any specific sites that you recommend online? Any particular links?
Yeah.
I know we'll get to the training piece as well. But yeah.
That's a great question. Malesurvivor.org. It has a really great resource for family and friends and loved ones. 1in6.org as well has a lot of resources specifically for family members and friends and loved ones. And so I definitely encourage you to check out both of those sites. They're the primary sources of information and resources for survivors, male survivors of sexual violence. And so definitely check them out. The National Sexual Violence Resource Center has some additional resources specifically for victim advocates as well. So it's not just friends and family, but victim advocates who are tuning in today. We want to make sure that you're informed and that you have as much information and have access to those resources so that you can refer those survivors when you encounter them in the community, whether it's over the hotline or just even at your local rape crisis center.
Perfect. All right, my next question is, where can I learn more or get additional training on this issue?
Yeah, that's a great question. Definitely check out the social media of malesurvivor.org and 1in6. They're really great. They have a really great social media presence, and so that way you stay informed. In addition, both organizations have an online hotline for survivors as well, which is completely anonymous. 1in6 offers a weekly support group for male survivors of childhood sexual abuse. So that's a tremendous resource, especially during this time where male survivors can't access support groups at their local rape crisis centers. But it gives them an opportunity to be a part of a support group that's facilitated by a therapist. And so definitely check those out. Now, if you're interested in additional training for your organization, if you're at a rape crisis center, law enforcement agency, any type of social service agency, college or university, we definitely would encourage you to go to our website at TAASA.org. Under the tab,
it's under what we do?
Yeah, under what we do, you can click statewide training to request a training from me on this issue. And so complete the training form, and we'll follow up with you as soon as possible to confirm the details and to schedule that training, whether right now we can offer that training virtually online, or hopefully in the near future, we'll be able to offer that training in person at no cost to you or your agency. So whether it's in English as well as in Spanish. So I want to encourage you just to reach out if you have any questions or you like additional information. You can always email me at TAASA.
All right. Thank you, Emiliano. I'm going to check to see if there were any questions posted. Oh, I see some good morning. Some hey.
Hey.
I see a question.
What do you think about Men in Healing Canada? I believe I'm not familiar with it, so I'll definitely check that out. I honestly couldn't give you an answer. I think there's all kinds of wonderful resources out there. I definitely would explore them before you share them with a male survivor, so that you can make sure that the resource that you're providing is adequate and is comprehensive. So before you share any resources, definitely check it out for yourself, because the last thing you want to do is sort of create additional barriers for the survivor to access information or support. And so learn as much as you can about the organization, familiarize yourself with the resources that they offer. I've created a sort of a collection of resources that I recommend as part of my training. So if you're interested in that, you can definitely contact me, and I'm happy to share that with you. But definitely look at all those resources, explore them yourself before you recommend a book or website or article. Make sure you read it and make sure that it's trauma informed, is age appropriate for the survivor, and is not going to cause additional trauma or is going to be triggering. So those are all things to consider. So I appreciate the question. I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah, and if you don't mind, Emiliano, if after you check it out, following up, if there's any insight you have further after you take a look at it later on.
Absolutely. I look forward to sharing that.
And so, yes, thank you for joining us, Rebecca, Arlene, Curtis, Mike. I see y'all.
Thank you for joining us.
Howdies. So I do have another question, and if y'all have any additional questions, again, please throw them into the comments. I'll be able to pull them up, okay? So now for the question that you didn't know I was going to ask.
Ooh. I'm going to act surprised.
I hope you are. So Emiliano has been working on a project. He's got a new garden going. This is some before images. And here is some after. So my question was, how's your outdoor space cultivating growth for you during this time?
How's it going? Thank you, Courtney. That is a surprise. Get to share my progress with everybody. Yeah, we're very proud of it. As a family, we've been quarantined for going on almost a month and a half now. And so we have lived in this house for a while, and we've been meaning to find the time to work on the backyard and to do some additional landscaping with the things that we have. And so everything you see there is just a work in progress. It's a labor of love for our family. All of those are garden beds on the back, and right so here? We're going to plant. And so at the very end where the red tar.
Oh, frozen. Dun dun dun.
This is our compost, and and then we're going to have garden beds for different vegetables, and so we're excited about that. We're making progress, but it is a lot of work, and we're doing it together as a family. So it's giving us a project here at home. So we're very excited about it, and I look forward to sharing the after picture. So
wonderful
when it's all done.
Hey, I mean, I see the before and after, like this all cleared out.
It's just a pile of rocks.
But you moved all those rocks, I'm assuming.
Yeah, we're definitely creating a dry creek bed sort of landscaping. It's super popular, and so it does fill up with water. So we're hoping that it will help with some of the irrigation of the water, and just to beautify the yard since we spend so much time out there right now. So yeah, we're very excited about this project. Thank you so much for sharing it, Courtney.
Yeah, of course. All right, so we got another question that came in. For a subject with attached stigma, do you have any specific tips for really starting the conversation among college-aged men?
Ooh, that's a great question. Yeah, thank you for that question. It is difficult to talk about. It's difficult for us to talk about as men. As a survivor myself, just having that conversation, sharing my story with other folks has been really difficult. But it's also been really healing. And so I think the best way to start that conversation is by sharing the stories of other male survivors. Right? It gives boys and men permission to share their stories. So there's a great film specifically designed for college-age men called Speechless, and it has these little vignettes of college-age men sharing their stories, and I have found it to be really useful in terms of just beginning that conversation, opening up, and creating space. And confidentiality is, I think, really important to be able to have those conversations. Building trust and rapport with the men in a group before engaging in that conversation is critical. And also making sure that when men do disclose their experiences of abuse, that you're prepared to provide them with support and able to refer them out to the most appropriate resources at a college or university. And so all of those things are really important to consider in supporting college college-aged survivors.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Emiliano. It was a pleasure having you today. Just so y'all know,
Courtney.
If you have any additional questions, you can contact Emiliano at diaz-de-leon@taasa.org. Yeah.
Yeah, please.
And then also we'll still be checking the comments. So if you do have additional questions there as well, we can follow up in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we're at time. Thank you again for joining today. I just
Thank you,
reminder, everyone, so you know, if you have any questions, we want to hear from you, and you can submit them on our AMA form. It is in the comments, so you can add questions, or if there's a subject you're interested in, or if you have additional things, you can post it in there. And y'all can reach me at cclark@taasa.org. So that is it for today. Thank you everyone for joining us. If you liked what we're doing, give us a like, give us a heart. We'll take it. All right. Bye, friends. Thanks, Emiliano.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.